What up, gang? We're back. I'm gonna do the 3-shot cam and hope it's wrong. It's always wrong. This
Oh,
is why we never
wait.
use this camera. It's
can you flip my cam?
no, I refuse. You will just have to play the L. Yeah, we've got Jambo in, Resident Blue Extraordinaire. We'll ignore the fact that he's on slugs. To talk about some blue cards, the best 5, the worst 5, and some honorable mentions and all that. General rules as well. We'll do 1 per line, so that way it's not just filled with all the Gabumon cards. And we will not include vanillas. And we're trying to avoid just doing old card bad, new card good. But like, some of these old cards are not good. So yeah, fellas, let's get into it. We'll get the egg out the way. The best blue egg is Bukamon.
Upamon.
Ooh.
Well, Bukamon wouldn't be allowed because he's on the restricted list.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Oh, yeah, you're right. He is on the ban list. You're right. Bukamon BT 13? Where'd that
Yeah,
little
BT
criminal?
14.
14. Bukamon BT 14 is on the ban list. Whilst we're talking about on the ban list, do you think that Galgamon even deserves a shout out for being on the ban list?
Well, he's on the ban list and he should stay there. Yeah,
The card is crazy.
he's very good.
The card is mental.
All right, okay. That's, you know what? Digimon starts with the eggs, so we will start with the eggs then. Upamon is a good pick, but Wanyamon is also right there.
Yeah, but I feel like Upamon just does a little bit more. Like it because you're only playing it in decks that care about early game, right? And it just has infinite early game impact. You just leave the search they dropped on the board. I'm just gonna draw a turn every turn. I'm just gonna draw an extra card, bro.
I was talking about it today, actually. I watched an Armour video that was Armour versus Davis. I'm terrible at that matchup, but watching this guy draw every time he's swatting because the Mother D-Reaper on the field was really funny.
This is tough, man. Like the all-time individually powerful. I think about like because it's not always within the context of their deck. It's like the power of the card is relative. I think there's like a genuine argument for the BT7 Bukamon, the like fish egg. That card is bananas. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a memory digi egg. Those are they're like usually overtuned. This one's especially crazy. I think as a candidate for maybe the best individual blue digi egg, it's like that's got to be up there.
Yeah, that is pretty fair. Like, Wanya, Demi-V.
There's like the Blue Flare suite of like good cards. There's like Babidomon and Upamon for the same reason, but like it's tough. The other one that's weird is like the Sunomons, because they're like blue doesn't have a ton of archetypal pile decks. It's like Armour doesn't really have an archetypal pile egg. They switch around whenever they need to. Melga has frequently been on DP Sunomons, and there's now 2 DP Sunomons. So like there's something to that where it gets a little weird. And then like now that we're counting 16, we also have that guy Demi Veemon. Oh god, that card is good.
Lord.
Yeah, 2
1 KDP all turns is not normally a thing in blue.
Where is that? There he is.
What about Xiaomon though, boys? Come on. A couple of old armor heads will reminisce the
Xiaomon
days
is
of
sick,
Xiaomon.
but like Xiaomon is Demi-V waiting room.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
some of
so
my
is-
level 5s might actually be 2 colors eventually. Give me a free type ace card. Like when we get like a pile ace or something, like Armor's cooking. Because I'm so tired of bottom decking my aces off the searches, man.
Hey, listen, I've played a lot of BT17 just for fun on my own. I hope we never get a pile ace. I hope it's the never. I like it sincerely never show up. I don't want Imperial to have any new toys. I'm so done with Imperial.
The new options already too much.
It's unbelievable. Everything you think about a card that they've had in the last of 2024, and you're just like, what happened? But yeah, I feel like I'm willing to defer to you guys on some of the eggs because like I am not predominantly a blue player. Like I think the Bukamon is good, but the fish just ain't real like that, you know. Fish is tight, but it's not.
I also just think like Memory Printer as well. That deck would not have worked nearly as efficiently if you couldn't just go Bukamon print 2 memory.
Yeah.
Oh, Bukamon was such a good pick.
It's just individually a very high quality digi egg.
But I'm gonna say, think back to like the early days of the game, right? Think back to like BT4 era, Sierra Mist Megazoo, when all you were doing was like hard dropping a Magna and see what happened, right? What was the egg you were playing? Who was your best little friend at that time?
Yeah.
It was goddamn Upamon and his top homie Veemon. That's what it was back in the day.
I think it's really funny too, because there's enough Patamons that evolve on Blue and Armadillomons that evolve on Upamon that this card saw sporadic use in BT16 as well. Because it was the only egg that the Patamons and Armadillomons could all go over that was decent.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was a very weird little subsection. I mean, Shakomon didn't... Like, the deck that Shakomon topped in was an Angels deck, not in its own DNA list, but...
You know
WoW.
I think I'm pilled on that. Also, the alt arts for Upamon go crazy, whereas Bukamon has none. Therefore, inferior card.
All right,
Also-
I'll give it to you guys.
All right, yeah, let's bring it in. There's definitely an honorable mention, but yeah, we'll take BT. Is it BT3 Upamon?
BT1 Upamon.
There's also-
BT1. Yeah, 3 is the
there's
yellow
also
one, isn't it?
a little underrated pick. BT6 Kiaramon.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the blue hybrid
the
one.
blue
Oh,
hybrid
this-
one.
This was the little goat back in the day. You'd promote your men blocker, Evo into Kuma, draw free card. It was sick.
Oh, this very good deck.
Or yeah, the Bulukumon, so you just evolve for 1 and then draw 1. Normal stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get into some actual Digimon there.
Heard, Chef. So we already kind of discussed it before we hit record, but we're not going to go for repeats. But I want the internet to know that I do think Grey Knightsmon has the distinction of being the worst blue card as well as the worst black card. And it is probably in my bottom all-time worst Digimon cards.
Yeah, it's not great.
There's Grey Knightsmon, but we are consciously avoiding using it.
Why
The
is
card is literally unplayable.
Do I have to do something to get dual colors? It feels like this is a very small list.
No, it should be showing up if you got a set search on it.
I don't think so.
Scroll down to the very bottom.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, it's an EX card, Andrew. I think you have to scroll down more. No, not in the settings. Sorry, actually in your card app view. You're not like at the bottom of your search.
Oh, it just was not loading more cards. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, you
And
know
it's
what?
on there somewhere.
Yeah, I've scrolled real far to like starter
The
deck and
STs.
promo cards, and boy, oh boy, is this card making the list.
Yeah, it's a very good blue Digimon card.
This is somewhere on the list. Don't know
Blue.
where.
The thing with blue, unlike some of the other things in here, is that like what have we done? Red and black.
We've done red and black.
Are not consistently the topping color, the best color in the game. There are many blue formats. There are going to be like, we're going to have to split hairs between, oh, but this deck only won 5 regional. Like, it's that good. We're at that level. Like, blue has had it too good.
I'm gonna say though, I think BT8 Magna is arguably the most Magna of longevity because that card saw multiple play in multiple decks.
Yeah,
It saw play in yellow decks when it was getting played because it was just like a nifty little free checker that would like purge and then contest the board state. But that card has stood the test of time consistently.
I love
Fellas.
BT8 Magna.
Let me just deconstruct this a little bit further. As the non-armor player, the card when I think of armor that punks me out of games the most is not actually a Magnamon. It is jamming Veemon. That motherfucker is the card that keeps me up at night in armor. I think if we're going to represent the Veemon armor archetype, and we'll probably have to make an exception to include Imperial cards as well, because no doubt that'll make somewhere on this list. Veemon jamming is a deviant, and that card has carried most of its archetypes all the way.
I am
Yeah.
under
It's
the
because-
impression
Yeah.
that card was printed as like a little tester. The devs saw how broken it was,
Yep.
and they never printed it again.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, if this card's like not as strong, we'll do it as a little cycle. No,
Yeah, they were just like, okay, no, jamming has to be on a level 4 now. Preferably on something that is a terrible name and will not be used in any good archetypes. Shout out to
Yeah,
man
this
Digimon.
is like people joke about how good Memblock or Terriermon is, but jamming Veemon is the king of I was in the anime and have great text.
I actually think jamming Veemon might be the reason that like BT8 Magna could be arguably the best Magna over the new ST17, which de-digivolves battles and then evolves for free to then bounce something. If your Veemon's already sideways because you know it's living in security, BT8 Magnamon is the fucker of a card, but like with Bukamon hit to 1 as it should be, you no longer can turn all of your Veemons into jamming Veemon.
Yeah. The thing is as well is that we are also like, as this is accounting for BT16, we have to have a real strong argument for, especially because this is the armor rep, why it's not Magna. And I think this is the only card in that archetype, I would say, because like Magna X is individually incredibly broken, but what it did to its archetypes is like still as of yet developing. It's amazing, but like it isn't staying the #1 undefeated mega monster like we kind of thought it would do for a little longer than it would have. So like there are some cases where I think Veemon is just like, he has old school cred. It's a card that sees play in basically every permutation of Armour over the years. And still, frankly, in Magna X's days, you still play the Veemon. So it's like, there are points where I'm like, man, it's either that or Magna X, and I think we give it to Veemon because old hit cred. But I'm willing to hear you guys out, because you are both Armour players. If the new Magna X is that broken...
I vibe with the point. He's been here since the start. He's been owning it from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
I know we're going to get comments. We'll put it in the yellow video.
I'll put him in 5. I'll put him in 5.
Yeah, that's our backup. We could put... Oh, we can't put him in black anymore. That ship has sailed. When we're recording this, it's episode 11 bonus content, so do the maths. But if you're seeing this in the YouTube video because you did not have early access, yeah, BT16 is out. We don't know if it's doing incredibly well in Europe. Spoilers, it is. But yeah, we'll just put it in the yellow video when we inevitably get flagged for this. Veemon, somewhere on the top 5 list. We'll figure out the order after. Number 5? Yeah, a rookie any higher than 5 is pretty fair.
He's been there from the start, but as time has passed, objectively better cards have been printed. But he's the OG GOAT. He was the reason this game was expensive.
Yeah, I think I paid like a 5 for one of these when I started playing the game. And that one was actually a 5 well spent as opposed to playing Digimon.
Yeah.
Also, he's also got to be like the most reprinted Veemon, right?
Yeah, I think.
Like, we're looking at regular alts, 2 store alts, and then that's not even I can't even see.
That's not even counting your stamps.
The Ulti Cup one.
Yeah, you have stamps to include as well, and box toppers.
Everything.
Just turn normal off at this point. That'll make it even faster.
he has a foil reprint. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, in the RBO 1 set. Yeah, he's got to be the most reprinted one.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Impressive. Yeah, it's a good pick. I think this is the second time.
I'm feeling Veemon.
Is this the second time we've had a rookie on the top 5?
Dorumon, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, because we had 2 rookies in the black one. That's how bad black cards are.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I think we said Dorumon and Chikurimon, right?
No, it was Dorumon and Promo Sunariza. We moved the Chikurimon to the honorable mention.
Yeah, Dorumon and Sunarizamon.
Oh my lord.
Black cards.
Okay, bad blue cards.
Yeah.
Bad blue cards that aren't bad blue cards we've already talked about. I've got a banger for you boys. You want to talk about a card that did not land and will not make it to the finish line? Yeah. BT10 Cyberdramon.
I forgot there was a blue Cyberdramon.
Oh my lord, this card is unplayable.
Cyber Launcher, a little bit better to interact with.
It gets rid of
came a full set later, so not good enough to really justify it, but God, actual Cyberdramon.
It's a shame because I really like this Cyberdramon. Like, art-wise, he's cool. He's fucked up.
But why do you have to pay 3?
Yeah. It's pretty weird.
So essentially, it's Victory Sword, locked behind an archetype.
Yep.
That just gets you a plus DP inherit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it had like a better inherit, like maybe another unsuspend, or jamming before they just put that on male Birdramon, maybe a jamming unsuspend like Cyberdramon would have been worth the 3 costs. But yeah, DP when that deck has jamming, like who cares?
I think it's a victim of its own deck's design, though, because they print a Cyberdramon that does more unsuspending as like just an inherit, or as like, because obviously you can tuck this with like Metal Decker Launcher, like the 9-drop one.
Mm-hmm.
If you just give it another unsuspend, it just becomes even more toxic as a deck.
Yeah.
So obviously they can't just give the deck another 3 unsuspend built in. I mean, they did with Zeeg, but
if they give it at a level like level 5 again, it'll get like Cyber Launcher still says Cyberdramon in name. Sorry, the Digicross is Metal Greymon and Cyberdramon and still has Armor Purge. So like that combination of things will get more stupid the longer they print Blue Flare Cybertron.
So I think they
let's
had
see.
to make it bad.
But it is bad. We all agree. Like
Yeah,
this card
that's
is
terrible.
not. It's not there. I think it's. I don't know if it's the. I don't think it's just like when I'm thinking about these things, I'm thinking that like I was ready to say Grey Night Spawn was the worst one, and so it's definitely closer to 5th worst than 1st worst, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not an unplayable garbage pile. There are worse unplayable garbage.
It is
piles.
going on the list. What's funny is one of the things that came to mind, Lamau, was the BT4 Mirage, but we know that
It's hopped.
it has
It gets
topped,
played.
so it's
Yeah,
really
it's
hard to put it on the worst list.
It's just cheap now. That's the thing. That's the trade-off. It's just the next best. Like, if all you want to do is unsuspend, this card beats the Magnamon we were just talking about.
Yep.
Like, very wild.
I mean, it was a good card when it was evolving for 4 and gaining back 2. Now it's training, it evolves for 2 and gains back 2.
Yeah. Very messed up.
Actually, a good card. The roleplay guys beat the allegations.
Okay, let's get into some meat and potatoes here. It's got to be a blue hybrid card at some point in the top 5. But I think that the challenge is in picking an individual one. Because it's the tamers that are the degenerate cards in that deck, my gut reaction was to just pick the 1-cost Evo. But I don't think that's right in Blue Flare. I think it's gotta be Kumamon, right? Or Korikaku, maybe. One of those two instead of the 5.
Korikaku is nice, but yeah, I think Kumamon... Lanamon's a good pick too.
I'd argue it's Korikaku though, because there's a lot of game states where you
They
just,
just immediately
I
beat
can't
me.
lose. I can't lose here, and then you just get Korikaku. And it's like, okay, never mind. I'm stunned for a turn. It's 6, which at the time was like huge.
Yeah.
For a 4. But then obviously the Tommy just gives it the degenerate card. It gives it the degenerate inherit. But the fact that if it had a Tommy, it could stun 2 things just for existing is crazy.
Yeah, I
it
think
was
that's
so
what's whack about
consistent.
it. Because, like, sure, the other ones, like, if you're running, like, double hybrid and you have to go over a 4 for 1 and then over itself just so you can get the stun, you're committing a lot of pieces. But Tommy was just like, oh, you hit it in security? Cool, Korikaku bought me an extra turn. Like, Blue Flare out, but you got sacked. I think
It
that's
is
fair.
also like, I think it's also pretty much a safe bet to. Blue Flare is like weird in this one because a lot of the hybrids get hit for like, they're like, you think of red hybrid, you think of the tamers. So it's a hybrid deck. That's what it does. But when you then look at like where their powerful cards are, a lot of the time they have been like the higher level, like the yellow hybrid did Sylphie nerf. Like red hybrid has the like really stupid ancient Emperor Greymon that flows back into another or Takuya. And blue hybrid, it's like maybe it could have been the ancient Garurumon. But like it really, the reason this deck was so good and it won so many things was just because like the 4s were unfuckwithable good cards. So it's like, and Korikaku is the one that goes over all of her 4s. Like even if we ignore just its effect, Kumamon Korikakumon was a play they made consistently. So yeah, very good. I am a fan.
I'd argue as well that the most toxic bit about this deck wasn't that it was stunning your guys, is that it got value for just having guys on board. You had so many effects. You had Sorajo, they'll just print through memory.
Yeah.
You just had continually loopable effects that was keep the guys on the board, and then guys that interact with your board. Oh, guess what? I'll just Beowulf it,
Yeah.
and then I'll loop the Korikaku back to my hand, and I'll do it again.
Yeah, I think that's what's the super messed up thing about it. The fact that it was like all the boards are recurable thanks to Beowulf. Famously evolves for 1. Is it high up on the list, or are we keeping that for like the creme de la creme? This is Bandai Blue after all.
This is the thing. A blue hybrid is the creme de la creme, right? Like when you think
Define
of
the format.
True.
yeah, when you think of the blue decks of like the history of the game, like Mirage is fantastic at its high point, but like, is it even Blue Flare tier of like infamous? Blue Flare's great. Like we're getting into some like, I hate this. I'm a big NBA fan, so I always hate the like legacy talk because I think it's stupid and unobjective. But like what are you supposed to say about Blue Flare? Like it won everything and got hit for it.
Yeah,
There's no other argument.
It was the first Western hit where they were like, why buy product when I can buy a blue hybrid core for
What were they
$20?
printing in? Yeah, like blue Leomon cards. Whoopee, Blue Flare support. Or sorry, Blue Hybrid support. People were
Blue
like, blue
hybrid?
flare, blue hybrid again. It's just like,
Blue hybrid was objectively a tier 0 format.
yeah.
That's all that it was. People trying to argue that it wasn't. It was objectively a tier 0 format.
Yeah, especially when you watch people playing it again now, it's like,
Yeah. The only deck worth playing was exactly blue hybrid. The world finals for that year was a blue hybrid mirror match. The NA finals for that year was a blue hybrid mirror match.
Which was won by a Siakamon, because Siakamon was there to stop hybrids, and now it stops trainings as a funny knock-on effect.
I'm
there's a
pretty
lot of good
that
stuff.
blue hybrid won every nationals that season, apart
Wait,
from.
did it beat yellow hybrid? I think yellow hybrid won one. I have to look.
Oh no, sorry. Mill won LATAM that year.
That's
Apologies. Yeah, that's what happened. Lilith won LATAM that year, which
Yeah,
is
I guess
hilarious.
if you mill out all of the Tommies, they can't do the funny.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say like 4 because obviously it's got a huge legacy behind it. But guess what? BT8 hit the deck. Actually, no, it didn't even disappear because people still kept playing it.
It played until EX2.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it just played until EX2. So I'd say like maybe 3rd.
Yeah, like number 3, just like smack dab in the middle. It's like without me, there isn't the rest of half of these cards.
Yeah. But then obviously people are like, oh my god, blue flare's not as toxic, guys. You have to play into it. Haha. You have to play into the strategy, guys.
All right. Let's look at some bad cards. I've got like the problem is I keep looking at some like Digimons are fantastic.
I got a stinker if you're really struggling.
Yeah, give me some.
I spent a long time trying to make this deck work because it was sort of the brand at the time. TM. If you'd like to scroll your way to EX2 and pull up EX2 18 Marine Angemon, that would be a big one. This card reads. This card is catnip. I think about this card more than anyone should have to. I think about like, it's a fairy. There's a lot of really weird fairy access in the decks these days. Maybe there's a way that I could find this to like have a game stabilizing recovery. Against Diaboromon, you just heal 6. Like it's on play 11 cost, heal 6.
Yeah.
But then you try it and it's unusable.
Why is it just an on play and not like a when digivolving? You're already evolving into it for 4. Like
Yeah, okay, but heal 6 for 4.
Okay, yeah, knock it up to like 7.
Maybe recovery 1 or something. But then you know what that would give what deck would have had a recovery 1 level 6? Would have been fucking blue hybrid. So and yellow hybrid.
Yeah, true.
So like there are layers to this where it's like that card couldn't existed because if it was any good in those decks, they would have had a on play for 11 memory recover 6.
Dude, imagine instead of dropping Raguelmon, the Misplay players were dropping Marine Angemon.
Yeah, it's just
Marine Angemon, heal 5 or Dine, pop 5, heal 5 more. I have decked out, but it looked cool.
Yeah, EX2 Marine Angemon is a real clunker. There's a lot of kind of mid and mediocre blue cards in EX2. EX2 is widely considered blue's worst set. There's probably an argument for it being the Devimon. Excuse me. From that same set, but like God, yeah, no, there's just like I think this is the most disappointing one. Because maybe that's because it's Kenta's like partner Digimon as well, so it's like people kind of wanted the hype.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the BT14 Marine. I didn't even know we got a second Marine Angemon.
You didn't draft it in your pre-release deck, I see.
This one's
I was
really
running.
funny.
I ran this in pre-release and popped off.
Interesting. Well, I can't say that this card has no good cards because it at least has an interesting one. But yeah, no, this is like undebatably.
You know the.
Is this the worst one? Is this our new Grey Knightsmon?
No, so the whole point was that you combo it with Kenta, you get multiple Kentas down.
Yeah.
You hard play Kenta, you just tap all your Kentas because it strips all the sources if it's a Marine. Well, sorry, it strips the bottom source of all your opponent's Digimon if it's the Marine. So obviously you get like 4 Kentas in, you hard play a Marine, you strip, you tap all 4 Kentas, you strip 4 sources of all Digimon, and then you heal.
Resolve your on play and heal.
Yeah. But
wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
A 2-card combo, there's actually a 5-card combo to be usable.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
This
some
can
people
chill
used to
here
joke
until.
Yeah, some people joked about this in Davis, but like lol. Although if I catch somebody in Gabubond using Kenta to strip my stupid Ace Digimon out from my Fangalong, I'll be very mad.
No, but it's only when you play a Digimon. It's not even when you like
Yeah.
Digivolve. It's like you have to commit a body, and then you get the effect.
Yeah. Card is very mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, Joe exists now.
Oh yeah, Joe's just objectively better.
Yeah, when we start doing these tamer videos, it's gonna be real fun to look at like tamers that have just been giga power crap.
Gonna make a minute-long compilation for each card where I just get sad about how uninteractive tamer cards are.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see. The best ones get tough. It is a distinct deck. Like again, Legacy is weird with this, but like, can we put Gabumon on here?
100%.
Is that kind of a weird pick? I think there's like
100%.
it's so odd. Blue has so many broken low end and busted top end cards. Gabumon is stupid though. Like it's come back to it's like yeah, I don't know. It's just like one of those decks. It's like the fundamental game plan of a level 7 that swings 3 times is very good, and sometimes that is good enough for a format. Turns out. I think Gabumon gets a mention for sure.
Yeah, he's sick.
The power on Gabumon is weird because he really is tied to the rookie and Matt. Like obviously, if you're not evolving into this dude from a 3, it's not as good, but it's not that much worse. It's still a great card.
Yeah, as we've seen, if you do it over a 6 as well, pretty good too.
Yeah, so
It reads crazy.
And it plays better. Isn't that something? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Gabumon. It was the variant of those like blue hybrid engines that I thought maybe had a little bit more sauce to it. So there's personally a little bit of bias there. But like the things it can let you do against some of these, like the fact that it bot decks all of these 5s, it's like it has remained relevant in some of these formats. Like blue does not have a ton of immediately effective, like really powerful instant removal. But this deck does this and plays around Blasted Evolving in a way that's really interesting. If you think it's annoying now, wait till they're returning the Anjuamons before they turn into counter timing Monstamons. Like that's where it starts getting crazy. So, big fan of this card.
Yeah, I'm down. Now the question is he better or worse than Korikaku? Probably.
I think he's probably a little worse.
Yeah.
Just looking at the result, individual card quality, probably the stronger card.
Yeah.
But Korikakumon is like, it represents blue hybrid, but it was the best of the hybrids in blue hybrid, and that deck is too tuned to be a nightmare.
Because, Tommy, I don't know if you were playing in like 86, EX6 format.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think we can remember back in the day when the objective best deck was just Gabumon.
Yeah.
It was just like a rookie rush pile where you just control the game with the like 7k Octomon. And then you just randomly just win the game with Gabumon, right?
Yeah, like the only out to it was Diaboromon, and if they high rolled.
Yeah, and obviously that was in full Ice Wall format.
Ugh.
We went from tier 0.5 because Agubond could compete. It was very funny. War Knight could compete as well. That format was a bit wild.
Yeah. And then they printed Ice Wall.
And then, so obviously that was in Nat's format for that area, right?
Yeah.
But then we moved to BT7, which was directly after.
Yep.
It went from 0.5 to tier 0.
Yeah.
And Korikaku was part of that tier 0. So I think just based off of, like, obviously we have to bring Legacy into it. I think that's the only consensus we can judge off in this one scenario. I'd say Gabumon's 4th.
I'll take 4th. I think 4 is. I don't think it's as. The thing is, like, oh yeah, it probably is better than jamming Veemon. Like Armour has been great, but it's never been the only deck in the color you have to play. You know what I mean? Like it's not like blue. I mean that doesn't happen too often in blue, where they're like, I only have one deck right now.
I think one thing that's also uniquely interesting about Gabumon is it's really like when back in the single color Ultimate Cup days, and it's like, oh, you play blue? What are your level 7s? Bond was the least bad 7. Wasn't good, but like you would probably have a blue tamer and it would do something, unlike Aegistramon, which was your other, or God forbid, Examon was your other option.
And then they printed the Mirage support, and they were in the single color format.
Oh, Mirage. Oh, Mirage is a good one. We've not got it on the list. Matt Galgamon's already chilling on the ban list where he
Yeah,
belongs.
that's the thing. Mirage is tough because it's like when you look at their cards, I think a lot of the power budget is on the burst mode. So that would be the one that jumps out to me as like, yeah, we probably pick him. But the 6 is great, and so are the Thomases. So where is the strongest part of that puzzle? But then, you know.
I think the most obvious take is to go for the Tax Wolf, because there are so many games that just end because they pushed up first, and even if they pass turn on a Mirage and it's like, sure, it has no protection or whatever, but like if your protection is not in your hand, like the removal is not in your hand at the time that thing is formed, you probably lost the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good
Or it's
pick.
on the Mirage player to now throw the game, because you are certainly not making your way back in without committing a lot of memory to board.
Yep.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Okay, so for our next worst card, I'd like to throw my hand to the ring.
Go ahead, bud.
BT8 Captain Hookmon.
Yes!
I saw him earlier when we pulled up the Marine stuff. I was like, one of these is ended up there.
This card has no home. This has nothing. Wow, my opponent played a 5. Awesome! I'm probably winning the game at that point, but thank you for the extra memory and the free card.
Yeah.
Now, I will admit, aces. It
Most
might
of
have some
these aces are
playability.
getting rid of it half the time. I was
But
trying to think
guess what?
like,
I'm gonna bounce it with Zudo. I'm gonna nuke it with Angelwoman. I'm gonna nuke it with Magnetmon. With Magnetmon.
It's lucky it doesn't die to Metal Greymon, for God's sake.
yeah,
Like,
that's
this
what I was
card is not
thinking.
it.
I was trying to think like, oh, BTA, maybe like Mastem. Like, oh wait, Mastem would pop a 5. It
Yeah,
would pop a
there's
5 on
nothing.
resolution. Yeah, this card sucks.
This card has no place in any deck whatsoever. It was pack fill. It was pack fill, but they didn't want to print it as a vanilla because it's a 5. So
It'd probably
Yeah.
be more useful as a vanilla. Like, shout out to
Probably.
Scorpiomon EX2 being my 2-cost climb in some. I think I was using it in Jelly Force as like an
That's
extra
great.
thing, because it's like, yeah, gets you there faster.
but yeah, that's my
That's a
hat.
great pick for a shitter card.
But then,
Yeah.
like, it was really funny because the guy, his level 4 doesn't do anything. It's a
Yeah.
vanilla with a shit inherit.
Yeah, but at least you
Yeah,
can
it's-
evolve over it with black. It probably did something in pre-release, right?
In
Yeah.
pre-release? God, no. BT8
Wow.
pre-release was terrible.
That
BT8
was my
pre-release
choice.
was Armour beatdown.
Hell yeah! But you know what? If you're stripping out the thing, it's not Persian anymore.
One of them's a common. I forget which one, but there's like a random common armor that was just like in everyone's pre-release.
It
deck.
wasn't Wholesome. It wasn't Submaria.
Submarimon is an uncommon.
That card was crazy.
Yeah, that card was real good.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it in a minute. There's
Did I
some of
win
them.
that playlist? I can't remember. I think I won my shots. For it.
Was it?
Let's see.
Oh no,
That's BT9.
Pegasus was BT9. It had to have been
I'm trying to
Submaria because
remember.
Wholesomon was a rare.
It's probably. It might even be Shurimon,
Oh, yeah, maybe.
like a non-blue Digi-Egg.
It was
Or
like
sorry,
Pokemon
non-blue armor.
Evo. Yeah.
Really, I thought all the armors were. That's an uncommon, yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm
Yeah,
crazy.
I guess they're all uncommons or higher.
Let's see. What else is
It's-
there?
Is you know what's worth thinking about armors?
We have to put Magnemax on here.
Oh no,
For the best cards. We have to put Magnemax on.
honorable
It's-
mention.
It literally says, I will be immune to everything. I am
Yeah.
15k. I am bigger than 90% of 6s in the game. Do something.
Yep,
All right,
it's a great card.
we did have Jamming Veemon top 5. We could bump him to honorable mentions. And
Maybe
we'll put,
Jamming gets the top 5 mention.
yeah. All right, we'll put
Is it the
Jamming V.
all-time best one?
Jamming Veemon's really funny as well because it's like the one that I know it's BT3 Veemon, but it's never nobody ever calls it that. Like you have to like talk about like, oh yeah, like BT12 Veemon to get the search is better than ST9 because this one takes a Davis and it has the end of turn thing. Nobody says BT3 Veemon. Everyone says Jamming Veemon. My guy actually just walks around with his DJ name.
Sick.
No one knows his government name. It's always his street name.
Let's see. We kind of beat a dead horse. I'm confident we could put this at like second or something.
Yeah.
Like
No,
completely dead ass.
I'd say BT11 Mirage at 5 because it's the best blue deck right now. It hasn't historically been one of the top contenders.
It's had moments like training BT14, like that format where it was like before the
in JP.
The JP format version of that deck where it had everything. That card was nuts. This really could be the best blue card. I'm trying to think about. I'm trying not to just be like say yes without giving it the full diligence because there's some other crazy ones. You know what I mean? Like there's like Veemon Ace we haven't talked about yet from BT16,
True.
or like
Ace
Azulongmon Ace.
This one, the Ace slot's actually going to be difficult instead of going. It's Mega Gargomon.
Yeah, I mean Zudomon Ace exists. You know, there are some crazy cards.
You know what? We'll come back to
Omamon.
The issue is though, Magnet X answers all of them.
Yeah, it does. It is that broken. Is it individually the most busted one ever?
Yeah, but okay. So the issue is that obviously you can out with aces, right? Because they have to go attack deck and then you can respond on attack deck. No, I don't. I can just go Blinding Ray.
Yeah.
I can go Blinding Ray game 2, make an armor in the back, swing, and then sick. You wanna contest it now? You wanna waste your one opportunity? Yeah. It's how ridiculous that card is.
All right, I'll give it to you, Jambo.
Yeah, I like it.
Could be it.
Is it number 1 or number 2?
Is
there a blue
has to be
card
number
better?
1, and I will think about it.
Can we put it 1 now though? Because it would be a cop out, right?
I know, but that is the thing about BT16.
Yeah.
Like, when I think about BT16 as a format, I think of that card. I think how bad Patamon needs to be banned.
Yeah, it's really good. And then it also frees up the slot in yellow when there are also some other criminal yellow cards in BT16 running around.
We can put it 1. We can put it 1. We should put it 1. Let's get it out of the way. Rip the bandage off. Let's put it number 1.
BT16 Magnet X. That leaves us with 1 slot on our top 5. 2 slots on our worst 5 because BT10 Cybergemon has not been placed on the shit list yet. He's just waiting for trial.
I hated this when we ranked the red cards, and I hate this even maybe more now that we're ranking blue cards. But I want to include a Melga card here, but I hate the way Melga interacts with the game as a poor little tight pool of cards that basically encompass half the ban list means that like when you think about something that's busted in Melga, the broken cards that are left are like Promo Garurumon, which is just an infinite amount of card draw.
That is whack. I have just added Promo Wegarumon to the ban list.
Yeah, he's on the ban list. Did you add Gabu X and Garu X because those are both blue?
Oh my goodness gracious me. Yeah.
Yeah, like half of the ban list is a Garurumon card.
He's cooking. There's Ice Wall as well, but we can't. Obviously.
Yeah, Ice Wall is sort of. This is the stupid thing. It's just like you get to the point where you're like, I don't know how we individually isolate the one broken Melga card that's left.
Was it EX5? Yeah, it was EX5.
Yeah, they're both EX5. EX5 Gabu X, EX5 Garu X. So yeah, I want to say it could be Promo Garu.
I've got one for you, Tommy.
Go ahead, bud.
Werewolf Sagittarius mode.
Sagittarius mode is sick. I like that. The jamming one.
When have you ever seen a person play this card?
Yeah, it is pretty rough.
Oh wait, yeah, which one are we talking about? The
No,
jamming one?
The jamming one.
Evolve for 1, smiley face.
So it's either a card that doesn't do anything, or it's a card that just gains jamming. But guess what? You're missing out on your 2 checks because the only ones illegal at the time were the unsuspend one and the one that gains 2 checks if they have no Digimon in play.
Yeah, this card does suck. This card sucks even more because it's like the competition coming from it as a Melga card too. Yeah. You know what, Jambo? I think you stumbled into the 5th worst blue card like on the dot, bro. I think you actually sniped that one.
The thing is as well, it isn't even usable with future support because
it
isn't
doesn't
exactly called Wegaruru.
Mm-hmm. So bad. Oh god, yeah, this card sucks. Great call out. I'm trying not to just dip my feet back into EX2, but the other card that I think about in there sometimes is the Gorillamon. It's like a 6 to drop on play blue
The big
4.
8.
Yeah, and he just plays a level 3 from a source, but it's not a fish, and it's not particularly useful in doing so.
Yeah, you're
And
also
this has
paying
been
6.
replicated. Yeah, this has been replicated in a bunch of other archetypes in a better way. So it's like the Gorillamon feels really mediocre, but is mediocre bad enough to make the list? I don't think this is like. That's the problem. Like we get to some like real brass tacks here.
Yeah, like we're like Marine Angemon is objectively horrible. Captain Hookmon is terrible on a 5, and then I think Cyberdramon's Is Cyberdramon worse? Like it's in a better archetype. It's just the worst card in a good archetype, and does that make it worse than?
No, that card
Clear
does
Pack
suck.
Filler?
I'm pretty confident that card is just Garbo. Like the thing about it is, you wouldn't want to Digivolve into it. You wouldn't want to have it in hand. You wouldn't want it in trash. Like I think the only ideal scenario is you Digivolve into the, like the exact moment I'm like, yeah, I did it, is if I don't have it in hand yet, I Digivolve into Cyber Launcher, and then off the top of Digivolving, I draw it, and then do win Digivolving. Like that's the only situation I think the card is playable. Cyberdramon sucks. This is so tough. The bottom of the barrel for BT16 and back. There are some clunkers. The thing is, blue for a while was so like monotonous. We've already done Mirage card, but we haven't done a bad Mirage card. Fellas, what do you guys think about the original?
Galmon?
No, even the Digibursts. Like the Galmon was just the blue version of the Digiburst support, so it wasn't that bad. I don't know.
I'd argue that BT11 Galmon is horrendous.
BT11 Galmon, the trash
because
one?
I'm gonna bounce a 3. Cool, man. Guess I've already bounced it as part of my main combo because it's the only thing that's stopping me.
Yeah.
Because obviously the problem was is that you had to Galgamon, sorry. Obviously the problem was is that you had to play it because there wasn't any other good names.
Mm-hmm.
But then they kept printing better and better names. It's like, why would I ever play this card?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on a when attacking, not a when Digivolving. I was about to say it's not that bad. But,
Well, it was supposed to work with Nikolai, so you had jamming.
Right.
It's so weird. I don't know. There are some parts of the like Mirage is a very confused deck at times, where it's like the reason it doesn't actually play its own archetype all the way up is because like half of it is so mediocre because they were still working at what the deck does. It's a toughie.
It's like Galgamon.
And obviously,
Oh, fellas, I just pulled a shitter out of my brain there. BT13 Examon. That card sucks.
that card is unplayable.
That card's bad.
Royal Knight.
That card bad.
Hell yeah. Okay, yeah.
I had to think about that one. This
Card's
is
got Bonzo Beans bad. God
this
damn.
one's a stinker. It is a Royal Knight, so it does have an on play, but 50% of this deck's power balance is the 6s, and this is just the worst 7 to be on.
This card went crazy in pre-release though.
Yep, sure did. Level 7 that most decks couldn't interact with. Pretty tight.
I was sitting next to Jess for most of pre-release because I was just watching them resolve Examon as fast as physically possible and block out the game. Like, oh, nice blocker that you made. I'm gonna suspend it now.
Yep.
I think
Very
it was
good.
really funny that Saf played this because it has an ult and he wanted them all golds. I was like, Saf, this is objectively the worst card you can play. He's like, yeah, but it has a cool ult. I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what?
Sam
Fair
still
enough,
owes
bro.
me he still owes me a
pulled an
full
ult
gold
of-
one.
I pulled an ult of this at a 5 guys.
Oh, that's my.
Oh, there we go. We're
I
back.
thought,
We're good.
I thought my camera bad then.
We're
I'm
chilling.
alive.
Yeah,
Alright, yeah,
Andrew,
let's-
put this one on the shitter list. I feel good about this one.
Mods, send this one to the shitter list.
I think we've also kind of got this in the order I would want them in. Maybe Cybergermon and Marine Anges switch, but like I think this is a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
The top one now, though.
The Cyberdramon one, I think, is just because it's a bad card in a good archetype, it feels even worse. Whereas, like, Marine is, like, a bad card in a deck that they have refused to give an archetype. Like, we've had how many waves of Tamer support, and they're just like, yeah, but, like, whose favorite Tamer from Tamers is Kenta? And nobody raises... Like, some people like Kazu, because Kazu at least gets into trouble and is funny. and like has the whole Digimon Babamon thing, but like Kenta was there to fill numbers.
Kenta just walks into a Digimon. A Digimon literally flies out of his pocket and gives him his Digivice. He's like, yeah, you're a tamer now, bro.
I deserve this.
Everyone is here.
Like, I actually think he only gave Kenta a Digimon so that, like, children watching it wouldn't be left out if they felt like if they looked to like Kenta, they wouldn't get a Digimon ever.
Yeah, like when Susie's getting a Digivice and then gets like a cool ass like Warp Digivolution Deva, like that's pretty cool. It's like, well, what about this guy? I was like, he stinks.
We'll give him a mega just for a joke, but it's like the tiniest mega of all time.
We've got one slot left. Oh, I mean, we haven't locked in our aces. I for some reason couldn't get the aces to show up, but we got
Zudo,
like, Zudo,
yeah,
Veemon.
probably Zudo over Azulong.
It's 100% Zudo.
The thing is, it's like he's gonna stay good. Veemon and Azulongmon are both amazing, but like Zudomon is so much more splashable.
Zudomon is like the most splashable card you've ever read. It's a 4-cost 8k that bounces a guy.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, and I guess it is easier to sit on a shitload of 4s and go, I am not holding Zudo. Swear
Armour
down.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Zudomon.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, that just leaves us on number 2 slot on the top 5.
Number 2, I don't know about, but I want to throw Cordramon ST8 a throw out here because as the security level 4s go, he's probably the best one. I think this might be a contender for at least card of mention.
Do you think it's better than the blue security rookie that does the same thing but then goes to hand?
Yeah, this one's a dragon for Dorbeck.
I mean, technically so is Bulak.
This plays itself out as well.
Yeah, I guess
like the difference between in hand and on play is huge.
Yeah, I guess it's a body that you now have to answer next. You can swing into security.
They can become a Zudo if you swing another guy.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, if you haven't had that happen to you, it gets real annoying really fast.
No, I have not had it happen to me. I've just had it show up and go, oh, that was a body I wasn't expecting to answer. I don't have enough blockers for this all of a sudden.
I love playing against like random yellow vaccine piles or like angel piles and having Meikumon sneak out of security and become Anjouamon Ace. That gets me every time, bro. Haha, I laugh for you.
I'd like to say structure that pile draw.
Oh, that's a great pick.
That's a fantastic
That's a great pick. Mother, I was trying to think about like maybe Blue Flare Metal Greymon, but that's a great pick.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think this card redefined the game.
Yeah, it is that good.
How aggro decks operate.
I was so not bothered by memory floodgates when I started playing this game because this motherfucker just cleared all of them and then killed people.
He would be getting the pick off of Legacy versus Pyeldramon BT16 just being kind of this but better. So I think that's the discussion we have to have.
Oh, yeah.
I'm okay with it being the starter deck Pyeldramon, but the partition one is 9 flavors of stupid.
Yeah, it's objectively better.
Yeah.
But as someone who played during that format, obviously it's when Andrew started as well, I think we could all agree this card single-handedly changed how we look at blue decks, how we look at mid-range, because it's an insane mid-range tool. Just in fact, it's a 5 that unsuspends for free. 99% of the time it's jamming, 99% of the time it's drawing you to every swing.
Yeah.
At the time, it was crazy. The deck felt almost unplayable if your first check was a Davis and the DXV in the match. Like, you might as well just scoop the game at that point.
Yep, I agree with that. I'm cool with it going to Pyeldramon. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah.
I think that's an excellent pick, actually.
Is it number 2? Now we just got to figure out our order. Is it better than Korikaku? Because this was like defining, but it wasn't blue flare. It wasn't like blue hybrid metal warping defining.
See, I'd arguably say that obviously we saw in BTA that towards the end of it, people was like, wait, why the fuck are we just not playing blue hybrid again?
Yeah.
But obviously that's just boring if we just keep moving Korikaku. Blue hybrid went from tier 0 to tier 1 because of a single hit. But arguably I'd say that this was like the best launch of a new mechanic they've ever done, because this card was insane when it got revealed. There was like nothing that could contest what it could do in a game state.
I'm looking at these archetypes. So we've got Mirage on here, we've got Gabuband, we've got Blue Hybrid, we're about to have Imperial, and we'll have Armour. So that feels like a great top 5 of like the best blue decks to have had blue cards in them that were broken. And I keep going to myself, why are we not using Melga? It's because Melga's on the ban list.
Yeah,
Like, I have to stop thinking about this as like, where's the Melga that we include? It's the Bandai did it for us.
yeah, like you could nearly assemble the full ride line in the on the ban list here.
Yeah, it's stupid. I think we have to give it to Pildramon.
Yeah.
As to if it's better than Korikaku,
It does bottom deck a Korikaku. Just saying.
DNA Digimon have rushed. It's stupid. And I hate it.
Pildra, get the Korikaku out of here.
You unfreeze yourself and kill him.
Oh,
Check him.
Give it to Pildramon right now.
yeah, that is a fantastic pick.
Great call, Jambo.
Thank
Yeah, and then obviously we know that the new one's broken, blah blah blah, but like, it's a stupidly good card. Carries your deck for a
Like
while.
comparing LeBron to Giannis, it ain't working.
That is a good pull. I'm into it.
All right.
I'm
Well,
into it.
if you appreciate, if you like our list, then make sure to let us know. If you're watching this in the public and BT16 is out, how long were you molding before we put BT16 Magna X as the top card instead of jamming Veemon? And did we miss anyone?
Yeah, if you're watching this from the future, I'm sorry we didn't put Magnamon X in the ban list where Bandai has it. I should have thought about that. I don't know what came over me. In its place, we'll put Blue Flare Metal Greymon for this one guy at locals and make him really happy.
But yeah, I appreciate everyone that's been supporting the stuff. The members do continue to grow. And yeah, if you're watching this, if you want to get videos like this early, it's at the champion tier to get them a month early. And it's a month from whenever I edit them, not from when the podcast happens. Hopefully those soon
That's
will
the
be
most
the same
important
day.
detail.
Yeah.
So when I can be bothered to do it.
Yeah, you
He's
know.
a full-time streamer now.
Yeah, well. But hopefully they'll come up more frequently, especially if we got more champions that are breathing down my neck. So yeah, appreciate all of y'all. Thanks, Jambo, once again for
Thank you for having me.
Kid, Jambo, you want to plug anything? We didn't really give you a chance to plug on the pod, but like, you want to plug any stories, any people, any locals, any whatever?
Just my Twitter, at Godfist Jambo. It's probably going to change at some point. Yeah, just at Godfist Jambo. It's my main Twitter. I retweet Digica content. I post local ones. Eventually, I'm going to start making content. I 100% plan for when Evo Cups start to come into like shops. I'm going to start doing a local legend series where it's just me going to different card shops in the Northwest, recording my games, and then just like a retrospective look back on them. Like kind of like a Nim-Nim-ish video. How like a Nim-Nim vlog does it. But yeah, that's probably about it.
All right,
That's
appreciate
hard.
it.
I'm excited for that.
Thanks, Thomas, for being in the bonus content. Thanks to all the people that are getting the bonus content early, and thanks to all the people that actually watch these when they go public. Because man, doing anything that's not gameplay really tanks my analytics unless you guys show up. So appreciate it. Let us know whether our takes were bad or not, and we'll see you in the next one.